on time. Ain't nothing gonna stop this train. We taking off now, right now, brothers. Right now, sisters. Daily Go Getimism Show. You already know. You already know how we carry it, how we do it, how we do it, how we. So tonight on this hump day Wednesday, and I realized that it's 2:00 in the morning, and it's about to, it's really technically Wednesday, but y'all know we represent the day before because we get a chance. So anyway. Tonight, we are talking about it's easier to make a desperate person happy. It's easier to make a desperate person happy. What y'all know about it? Let's get it popping. Yeah. Hit the like button, y'all. Yeah. Hold on. Let's get it popping. Stop it. I'm not gonna stop. It must work. Hold on. There we go. Nah. It's still trying to slip. It's trying to slip, y'all. They don't want me to do it. But then I want, you know what? Fuck it. right, we're gonna do it like that. Urban Therapy with Sun 752 with this your daily. It's the daily go get mental show. You think it ain't when it is? You think it won't when it is? We are here and we are in motion. We do this thing, taking all fast lane, no coasting, and everything is gonna be all right. We talk about making desperate people happy tonight. Is it easier? Or should I say it's easier to make a desperate person happy? What do you know about being desperate? A desperado. Well, you know, anybody can be in a state of desperation. Desperation really means that you need something that you don't have and you need it bad. It can be the state of wanting something and you don't have it and you want it bad, real bad, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, being in a state of desperation, and there may have been times in your life where you were in a desperate state, whether it was a financial thing, whether it was a physical need, you know, because if you are in a bad medical state, a bad health condition where you need medicine or care or treatment or, you know, yeah, pharmaceuticals, whatever the case may be, like in the case of having an asthma attack, and you don't have an inhaler. Nobody has an inhaler. You are in a state of desperation. Really. Same thing with allergies. Let's say you are allergic to nuts, walnuts, peanuts, pecans, or whatever, and you ate something unknowingly that had peanuts in it or some kind of nuts in it, and you know you can get really, really sick. People can die from that condition. So you may be in desperation of needing an EpiPen. You need medication in order to turn your condition around. So that's still being in a state of desperation. So, of course, anybody who has ever had pulmonary issues, respiratory issues, asthma, bronchitis, emphysema, what's that shit? COPD, any type of breathing issues, you know that not being able to breathe is not a fun condition. It's nothing to play around with. And if somebody can get you that inhaler, it's going to make you feel better instantly. But before you get that inhaler, you are in a desperate state. You are in a state of desperation. You know, before the inhaler, panicking like a motherfucker. Breath short as shit. You see that inhaler? Yes, that shit is like being out in the desert and you see an oasis. Like, oh my God, we gonna get some water. Oh my God, we gonna die out here. So we gonna die dehydration and heat stroke and all of that shit. So it's easier to make a desperate person happy. The thing is, what happens when that person is no longer in desperation? So if you're used to making people happy by providing for them, and that may be the thing that makes you feel really good about life and living. Well, what happens when a person that you have been dealing with came to you in a state of desperation and it was easy for you to make them happy? And then after a while, once they got on their feet, once they started to get their shit together, once they start feeling themselves, it wasn't as easy to make them happy because now they got something. When they ain't had nothing, anything that you gave them was a big something. But now that they have something, now that they are able to stand on their own 2 feet, now that they got their shit together, now you got to be more creative in making them happy. So we going to talk about it tonight and get into it. We want to talk about it tonight and get into it. We want to talk about it tonight and get into it. Everything is going to flow right through it like fluid. Yo, I'm so glad that y'all came through tonight. We going to have some fun like friends, no fights. Yo, don't put down your dukes. Ain't going down like that, nobody shoot. Yo, I come as a foe, not a friend. No, a friend, not a foe. You know just how it go. If the words ever get mixed up, blame my dyslexia. I'm just trying to get next to ya. Everything is gonna turn out fine. This is the house. The Sun 752 is mine. But I'ma share with you each and every night. And if you come through, yo, we gonna have this thing right. It's game tight. It's me and you, G. Yo, you know how it be. See, I'm glad that from A to Z, yo, Alpha to Omega, yo, it's gonna be major. And I know that y'all came through for that conversation. It's good vibrations and sensations make you feel kind of good inside, like you took a puff of the L. But you gotta ride. Yo, nobody gotta get in the car. We ain't gotta go roll on nobody. Ain't gotta go far. I come in peace. Peace like a peace pipe. Pilgrims and Indians, and I'm sending in to the place of the essence if they try to front. But right now I'm trying to get the people what you want. And it ain't because you know desperado. Used to ride around in my dad's dogs. Eldorado was trying to say my dad's dog. You know how it go. Yo, he's running like Boss Hall. Yo, I'm glad to be here. Let me get these drums out of here so we can talk where we want to be. You understand it. I see how you are thinking that it's going to be. I'm glad that I had a chance, opportunity. Yo, it's soon to be a hell of a time. What up, y'all? What's good? What's good? Do me a favor. Do me a favor as y'all sashay in and out of this joint. Please hit the like button and please and best believe I'm gonna earn the like. I intend to earn the like, but please hit the like button. If you on your phone or your tablet, tap that screen twice and it should get you where you want to be. Tap that thing. Tap that thing. So we talking about it's easier to make a desperate person happy. It's easier to make a desperate person happy. But when you really think about it, this is a deep concept because, you know, there have been times when any and all of us have been in need of some type. We've all been in a state where we didn't have what we needed. My cousin, my late great cousin Simon, used to always say, the state of being in hell is nothing but needing and not having. So think about what hell is. Hell is hot. So you need cool, but you can't get it. And the longer you are in a situation where you need something that you can't have, that puts you in a hellish situation. So it's not about fire and brimstone, a lake of fire burning for all eternity. But if you can't get what you want, even in this life, and then you spend the afterlife still not getting what you need and whatever the afterlife requires, well, then that's a hellish state. But we ain't got to talk about hell all night. We could talk about some heavenly things. We can get divinely over here. Glad to see y'all, though. Let me shout out my peoples because you know how we do. Let me shout out my peoples because you know how we do. T. Carey Wright, morning, noon, and night. It's all great to have my peoples going directly into your site. And Emily Dunlap is in the house. Wow, she about to turn it out. What up? She say that I came to the show early. I don't know if I'm going to be there because I was tired. So she might be in the background chilling. And then she might be, Mr. Sandman, send me a dream. I'll catch the live stream later on this. Okay, anyway. Troy McNeil. Now I got to wonder if that's the real Troy McNeil. I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to trust it for right now. Yo, Wadham fan. Wadham, that might be him. All right. And my girl, Maritza Allberg, Pizza Allberg. What's good? How you doing, man? Good to see me some you. It's good to see me some you, without a doubt. And my man, Oakland. I Heart Oakland is in the house. Raiders fan. All day. Cheryl Halsey. What up? What's up, Miss Halsey? Good to see you all the time. Wow, Marissa Allberg says, I have never been desperate, brother, Glory to the Lord Almighty. Word. Never been desperate. You know what? We're going to test that. We're going to test that. Not that I don't believe you, but I just think that desperation comes in different forms. It comes in different forms. We're going to see about it. We're going to see about it. We're going to see about it. Jeff Sprayberry. What up, my dude? Good to see me some you. Always good to see you. Always. And Jeff Sprayberry says, I came in the middle of the flow. Shit, you never late. You like God, baby. Always on time. Always on time. It's time. Oh, dang. Ritzy said, oh, I lied. I was desperate for a breath of air in 2009, the day of Michael Jackson passed. Oh, you know, that was the anniversary of that was recent. Very recent. Very recent. Oakland says we stand in for the whole stream. Nah. Not that I couldn't, and not that I think it's a bad idea. You know, I mean, I would do it by request. You know what I'm saying? But you know, I don't like to feel like if I'm standing up the whole time, I feel like I'm giving a lecture or a speech or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You know, we not going there. Jeff says, was having a struggle on the job, went home, stressed out. All of a sudden, the phone rings and it was a previous employer asking me to come back, telling me about the new management. God works. Word. That's a nice look right there. That's a good ego look too. Like I told y'all I was the shit. Look, I told y'all. Now my old job, they calling me back. They gonna pay me more. I'ma holler back at y'all. Get up out of here. You know what I mean? I was desperate for a better situation. Now I'm straight. I'm straight. But remember, a job is a job, and it ain't about nothing but work. Still got to put in the work. Got put in that pain. Got to deal with that. Deal with those politics. But congratulations to you, my brother. That's what's up. Ritzy Allberg says, I need spiritual masters, but I get demons instead. Interesting. And I hear you on that. I do. I hear you. Oakland says, son, do you know about not bagging a woman in 20 years? No. I know about not bagging a woman that I never met in 20 years. Or because I'm 54, there have been women that I used to bag and haven't bagged in 20 years. So yes, I know all about not bagging a woman in 20 years. No one who I used to bag will I bag again. At least I doubt it. I seriously doubt it. Those are false. You heard of false flags? Those are false bags. I ain't bagging no more. No. No paper, no plastic, no bag. I wouldn't bag you. I would never bag you. I would never bag you again. Hit that like button, y'all. Hit the like button. So yeah, it's easy to make a desperate person happy. You know, any of y'all have any of y'all ever fed or taken in a stray animal? Dog, cat, squirrel, hamster. Basically, any domesticated animals that were out on the streets, especially cats and dogs. You don't see dogs as much because the SPCA got rid of most of the. Yeah, when I was little, when I was coming up, you would see stray dogs. You could go to school or go to the park or playground or whatever, just go outside and come home with a dog. Mom, can we keep them? There were stray dogs. There was a such thing as stray dogs when I was growing up. You would not, anytime you see a dog without a stray dog nowadays, you figure like, yo, that dog must have got out or whatever, you know that the dog belongs to somebody. It wasn't like that back in the day. Sometimes dogs were just out there. And dogs were looking, it almost seemed like they were desperate to find an owner. Somebody who would care for them, train them, and most of all, feed them. You see a look on a dog's face or a cat's face every time it's feeding time when they hungry. You see the enthusiastic, sometimes knock you over for the food look that they have on their face. All right, divine presence, be careful. Be careful. You know what I mean? Because, you know how you do. Like, yo, look, I'm trying to be nice. I am. I'm trying to give people a chance. But okay. So with a real Troy, please step up. Stand up. Sorry. Oakland says, Ye tried to take a raccoon. Wait. Well, who is Ye? I'm thinking you're talking about Kanye West. Ye tried to take a raccoon when I was 7 to my house, and it fucking scratched my face like 10 million times. That ain't cool. Man, I don't fuck with raccoons. They are rabid animals. Yo, did you go get a shot? Raccoons, I don't like their hands. Their hands look a little too human. And I don't like the way raccoons eat everything and terrorize other cats and dogs. And they think they tough. I don't like raccoons. I don't. And I've shot a few of them with my BB rifle. And I felt good about it. Put it right between the eyes. Oh, bitch ass raccoon. Yeah, the raccoon had raccoon eyes. I guess naturally. Hit the like button, y'all. Hit the like button. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Hit the like button. All right. No Bars Chippy says train them. Yeah. I mean, dogs get a lot of confidence from being trained. They do. They actually welcome being trained. You know, you talk about training with an adult, you better be talking about the military or a job or something like that, because, you know, you say that to a regular civilian, they'd be like, train, I ain't no dog. I'm like, yeah, well, a dog doesn't understand English, and evidently you don't. But it's all good. TA says, the hell is this fool? No, it's the fuck is this fool? Because that's what they're going to ask you. But you ain't got to stay. You can keep on scrolling. You can best believe I won't lock you down or try to hold you. And I told you, I don't want to get to the point where I scold you, because you ain't nobody, not a dude or a hottie. You're not a friend. You're more like a foe. And I'm telling you, the door is open, so your stupid ass can go. And I think that I'm going to push up your due date because you're somebody. You a fool, and I'm trying to hate. Use a cornball. Warn y'all. Stand tall. Get the fuck up out of here. Let me fucking ban y'all. Don't spam my chat, dog. Stop spamming my chat. You're spamming my chat. At the count of 3, you spam my chat. You go bye-bye. 1, 2, 3. Well, I guess listen, I ain't have to lift a finger. You know what I'm saying? I ain't have to lift a finger. What up, No Bars Chippy? No Bars Chippy. No Bars Chippy. That's what's up. All right. All right, let's go. Marissa says, I don't like raccoons either. Like, them motherfuckers, they are terrorists. They are terrorists. I just don't like them. And I know people who try to, you know, take up for raccoons. Oh, they're not bad. Man, fuck raccoons. They're the reason why we got to have metal trash cans. Goddamn raccoons. Just prepare. He said, ease on down the road. Don't you carry nothing that might be a load. All right. Marissa says, keep on scrolling, dude. Brad Short says, anyone want to meet up and fight? Sure. I'll meet you around the corner. Any corner you want. You just go around the corner and I'll be there. I'll be there. Gonna punch you in your temple, honey. Ooh. Okay, so it's easier to make a desperate person happy. It's easier to make a desperate person happy. Oh, Nobody's Chippy says lemon powder and chili pepper take care of them coons. Really? Okay, good looking. Good looking. They don't like the smell? Because, you know, animals, they be getting they sniff on. I know for a fact that pepper is a good thing. Like if you want to keep stray cats off your steps or your porch, you just spread a bunch of pepper around because, you know, cats always sniffing. Yeah, they don't like that shit. And that pepper going to be like cocaine and not the good one. It ain't going to give them that good rush. Divine Presence says, laughing my ass off. UK still got plastic, but metal too mainly plastic bins. Okay, you talking about maybe foxes be tearing them up. Okay, I see what you're saying. It's not mandatory that we have metal trash cans, but we need metal trash cans because the raccoons will actually chew through the fucking plastic ones. Imagine that. Unless it's that thick ass Rubbermaid shit. But anyway, all right. So, what the fuck? That was odd. Getting a phone call in the middle of the night from what area code is 540? Hold on. Covers northwestern and southwestern regions of Virginia, including cities like Roanoke, Fredericksburg, and Harrisonburg. I don't know nobody. That must have been around number. There must have been around number. I don't know nobody from those areas. But anyway, it's easier to make a desperate person happy. Now, you know, when we talk about making a desperate person happy, you may have been in a position where you have encountered a situation where you were trying to give a desperate person relief. If you're the type of person who is helpful, who always assists, who likes to see people, you know, having an easy time or a good time, you know, seeing somebody that's in or in a desperate state, you may try to help them, especially if it's somebody that you know. You know, now, there are times when you might vet the desperation of somebody. For example, you know, if somebody you know has been known to act desperate at certain times just to get what they want, or they've cried wolf plenty of times to have everybody on notice and have them, you know, all uptight and in an emergent state, then you might say like, let me make sure this person is really desperate before I put all of my efforts and my time into this shit, because this person ain't always on the level. This person is not always on the level. So when we talk about it's easier to make a desperate person happy, remember that a person that is normally desperate is normally only looking for one thing. And that's why it's easier to make them happy. They're normally in search of just one thing. Like if I need a ride, if I need to be somewhere 2 states over and I need a ride, maybe I don't have a car or whatever, I'm desperate for this ride. You know, somebody who gives them a ride is going to really make them happy. Like, yo, man, you know, I really need to get there. Maybe somebody is sick over, you know, in another state or miles away or whatever, you know, like, and so somebody giving them a ride is really helping them out of this desperate state. Let's say it's a situation where let's say you are a non-driver, you don't drive, and your child goes to college 2 states over from where you live, and something has happened to your child. Maybe they were in a bad accident, or they were sick, or something is going on with them to whereas you need to be where they are, but you don't have a car, and maybe it's late night or something like that. So but you're trying to get to them with the quickness as fast as you can, you know, with them being 2 states over, depending on the size of the states, that can take mad hours. And so if you don't get started quickly, you know, you're not going to be able to get to them in time, and you're going to worry yourself sick. And it could be a situation where they need you for something, whether your signatures are required for something or whatever, you know. So you are in desperation. You're in a desperation for a ride. That call wasn't getting answered. Like, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen at all. No. But like I was saying, so you're in desperation for a ride. You really, really need that ride to get to your children or your child. You know, so somebody who says, listen, man, you know, like, look, I can drive you over there. You know, I like your boy or your daughter, or whatever. I know how much they mean to you or whatever. I'm going to give you a ride. So that's going to make you happy, even though you may still be, you know, filled with anxiety of wanting to get there, be with your child and take care of the business that you have at hand. But somebody giving you that ride was definitely taking care of your desperation. You couldn't get there on your own because you don't drive. You don't have a driver's license. You don't have a car. So it wasn't in a situation where you could just like pack up the car and be on your way and get to your child. So you were dependent on somebody else to give you that ride. Even if they only took you to the bus station or the train station or to the airport, you were still desperate to get to the place where you can take adequate transportation to be with who you were with. So that's going to make you happy. What you needed right there in your time of desperation was a ride. You didn't need nothing else. You may have had money. You may have had food. You may have had clothing. You may have had shelter. You had all of those things, but you didn't have the one thing that you needed in order to improve your situation at that time, which was a ride. And somebody provided that ride for you. You may be so happy with them that you felt the need to not only sing, heap praises on them, but maybe pay them back.
You have a call from.
Yeah. So let me see. Just Berry says, people don't realize the littlest gestures mean the most to a lot of people, especially when you're in a desperate state. Just like I said, having an asthma attack, that inhaler could be the difference between life and death for you. That's why they call them rescue inhalers. You didn't need money. You didn't need sex. You didn't need none of that. You needed to be able to breathe freely. So you're still desperate. So many of us taking note to that example have been in desperate stages, desperate situations. I know for a fact that I have. I've definitely been desperate before. Now, have I been in desperation to whereas I couldn't make it without somebody else? Maybe yes, maybe no, depending on how you look at it. But I'm not exempt from desperation, and most people aren't. Most people aren't. Please hit the like button, y'all. Stop being stingy with the likes. We still in single digits with the likes. We can do better than that. How we doing with the poll? 17 votes. We can do better with that too. Please participate in the poll question. Please. Once we get up to about 25 votes or so, I'll read the poll and how that's going. Marissa says inhalers. I agree. What's that? What's his name? H-Con? Yeah, buddy. Lightweight. I don't know what that means. Oakland says, I mean, everyone's jealous of someone that's rich. No, not everybody. I'm definitely not jealous of anybody who's rich. Like, for what? Divine Presence says, facts. Got one right next to me. But America, how much is an inhaler? 150 or more. The desperation in America is different. You know what? That's a good point. Because we have definitely weaponized healthcare in this country. It's bad. It's bad. And you coming from the UK, I could see why you would look down on the American healthcare system. It's bad. It's fucking terrible. Drinking, this is what I keep. This is what I drink to keep from needing an inhaler. This is called colon ream. Takes that colon and reams it out, baby. This thing will empty the whole bag. I have like 4 or 5 types of herbs in here. I have chlorella, I got turmeric, I got echinacea, I got I got garlic, I got black seed, and I have the vegetables that I have in here are collard greens, celery, tomatoes, beets, eggplant, and I believe and a little bit of daikon radish. Daikon radish. Yeah. And I season it up to make it taste good. And it tastes good. It definitely tastes good. Healthy without it tasting good or making me want to drink it just doesn't work for me. All right. Okay. Let me see. Just Ray says he's pulling out the juice. Ritzy Allberg says, I wish I could give you 1 million likes. Sun 752. There's no other like you. Yo, I appreciate that. Just that little affirmation. Appreciate it. All right. Divine Presence says, for real, gotta go off of what I know and gotta go off of what I know and get, but damn, I would have been dead already if I was in America. No, you would learn how to work around it just like we do. You know what I mean? You know, life is hard for a fish that has never been out of water. Life is hard for anything that lives out of water to have to live in the water like a fish. So, you know, I'm saying all that to say that you never know what you grow up with or raised, the way that you're raised makes you used to whatever it is that you like people who were born and raised in New York. I wonder, how can they afford to live there? California, same thing. Like, even the poor, like, how do the poor make it? Well, they don't know anything else. That's where they were born and raised. So whether they make a lot of money or they make very little, they know how to navigate themselves within that space. It would be harder for me. It would be harder for me because I'm used to living a certain type of way, and I would have to make a lot more in order to live in those places. So, you know, living in New York or California, I might be desperate. Winkety wink, winkety wink, winkety wink. It might put me in a state of desperation. All right. What we got? Damn, Oakland says health insurance is pretty bad in Cali. Yeah. Being unhealthy is one of those things that will definitely put you in a desperate state. Being unhealthy. Because if you get to the point where you need medical care and you don't have sufficient funds to be able to pay, you're in a desperate state. Even if you could pay for the checkup, for the physical, but you can't afford the medicine. Because then, you know, that's what all the money is. That's what the money is, in the medicine. The doctors and all of that shit. It's like our healthcare system, and I hate to say this shit, but this is literally what it's like as far as our healthcare system in the pharmaceutical industry. It's like your car costing $5, but your gas costing $1,000 per gallon. That's how our healthcare system is. We can pay for the doctors, the nurses, and all of that shit sometimes because that shit is expensive too. But but the real money comes in the medicine that they prescribe for you. That's why there's so much corruption in it, with the kickbacks, the doctors recommending medicines for patients because they're getting money from the pharmaceutical companies. They get kickback, baby. Grandma used to say, what up, Grandma used to say? Maritza Alberg says, damn, son, extreme self-care. I love it. Yo, you got to do it. You got to do it. You got to do it. Divine Presence says, read a story of someone's the other day because he couldn't get an inhaler. But of course, we're forced to adapt. Ugh. Yeah. Jeff Sprayberry says, being afraid of change can hinder a lot of blessings. Facts. Absolutely. Dipples D's, what up, ma? And she says desperation can lead to a state of heightened emotional arousal. Arousal? Which can interfere with our ability to think rationally and make sound judgments. That's a very clinical approach to desperation. And it's accurate too. You so smart. Jeff says, and the crazy shit that they put in food these days makes you more adapt to need it. The medicine. Yep. Yeah. Because the food that they're giving us it has the poison in it, which makes the food the actual poison. It's crazy. Jeff says, legalize weed, tax it, just like you do alcohol, and all of the earnings from that goes into healthcare. Well, they already legalized weed, but that money sure as hell ain't going to no damn healthcare. This is a capitalistic country, and they ain't stopping shit. They don't want nothing to do. Well, the Republicans don't want to do anything. Have They don't want to have anything to do with anything that's socialized. Oh, socialism, communism, that's terrible, terrible. The state, the country should not be paying for people's health care. Then it should be affordable. I mean, where's the hard part? Fuck politics tonight. Chicken Man says, okay, cool. He says, get that. I had to make sure I read it before I read it out loud because, you know, sometimes motherfuckers be tripping. He says, get that mic closer to your throat. Your swallowing isn't loud enough. LOL, just kidding. I ain't even mad at you. Oh my God, he's hilarious. Oh God. Oh, Chicken Man. You're killing me. You're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me. But yeah, man, you know, listen, this whole being desperate thing. Let me ask y'all something. When was the last time that you felt like you were desperate for something? You personally. You don't necessarily have to say what it is unless you want to. But when was the last time that you felt like you were in a state of desperation? Now, it's a funny thing because when I was growing up, the first time that I ever heard the word desperate used was by my friends, my peer group. And they were talking about, you know, you were desperate for a girlfriend or a boyfriend or for sex. So, you know, a lot of times the way that a word is introduced to you and the person or people who introduce it to you have a big impact on how you use the word. Like, for example, the word possessed. I grew up watching a lot of horror movies. And because I was born in the 70s, you know, in the 70s, there were movies after movies after movies about being possessed by the devil. He's possessed by the devil. You had The Omen. You had other movies, a bunch of movies. He was possessed. Can't forget was the Linda Blair movie, The Exorcist. Possessed by the devil. So in third grade, one of my spelling words, my vocabulary words was possess. And the teacher asked, does anybody know what the word possess means? And my hand flew up. Yes, Omar? I said, that's when the devil has like a hold on you and makes you do all kinds of evil things. And I said that shit with confidence. And she was like, you've been watching too many movies. She looked me dead in the eye in front of the whole class like, Omar, you've been watching too many movies. And I was like, what you mean? So then she went on to explain what possess means. And, you know, had the dictionary and everything. And I was like, possess means own? Okay, so they're saying when you're possessed by the devil owns you. Okay, that makes sense. But the way they were using it, I didn't automatically, you know, gravitate to the word. So anyway, so I was introduced to the word desperate because, like, if a boy liked a girl and she was resistant to him, maybe she didn't like him as much as he liked her, or a girl liked a boy and she wanted him, you know, to be her boyfriend, and maybe he didn't like her as much as she liked him. You know, the ego kicked in. Well, I'm not going to chase you. I'm not going to beg you to be my boyfriend or be my girlfriend or whatever, because I'm not desperate. So I understood what desperate meant, but only in the context of how they were using it. I didn't realize how other ways the word desperate could be used. But now I do. What up, Brandon? What up, B? How you feeling? Thanks for coming through. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Make sure y'all hit that like button, y'all. Please make sure y'all hit that like button. I'm trying to make it into the algorithm if I can. If I don't make it, it is what it is. Let me see. Hold on. Jeff says the thing that gets me is that they can raise millions of dollars for campaigns and we don't have health care. Ritzy Allberg says lots of horror movies. Yo, I used to watch a lot. Those are the only real movies that I watched when I was coming up. While I was a 6 or 7 year old, 8-year-old, 9-year-old, always watching horror movies. They came on Saturday, Creature double feature, and we went to the movies. I remember I was 8 years old when the movie Halloween came out. I was like, yo, this is the epitome of scary movies. This shit is great. Great. Not good. This was great. Brandon Elwood says, I'm going to share this link. This young man is one of the most knowledgeable men I've ever heard speak the Bible, Old Testament, but I'm not sure if I agree with his interpretation of scripture. All right, what's the link? What's the link? All right, Jeff says, sometimes I'm desperate for a life. I take care of my mom and I work full time, but I still give thanks for everything I have. And that's a good look. I mean, she took care of you coming up. I think it's a good thing, a noble thing, and a righteous thing to take care of them in their time of need. TK Ray says, I grew up in the 70s, so that was my definition of possession as well. I mean, it made total sense, right? Like, yo, he's possessed. She's possessed. No, I'm not retarded. I'm fucking possessed by the devil. All right. Okay. Balling on a budget says, I just saw that crazy video of the female who had 2 dead kids wrapped up in sheets inside her vehicle for 2 months. Cruel world. Yo, that's nasty. You know what dead bodies smell like after, in the summertime? Woo. Peace, Jeff. Thanks for coming through, man. Appreciate you. Always, always. Oakland says, peace. I gotta hop out early so I can work at Jimmy John's. But thanks for coming through. Appreciate you. Your presence is always welcome and appreciated. Got another Brandon says, and Brandon says, bruh, that beard lineup is too clean. Well, today, it's funny because somebody said my shit was lined up good last night, and I told them that today was shave day. So yeah, I just got my shit together. So yeah, I do it myself. As a matter of fact, if you go on my page, you'll see a video. Where I actually show you how to shape up your beard. So just in case you ever want to try it yourself, if you have the equipment to do so. Oh, here you go. It is right here. All right, this is for anybody that's curious about how to cut your beard or how to trim your beard and shape yourself up good. Now, to you, it may look like my shit is lined up right, and then I'm in good shape, but to me, it's shave day. So I'm gonna show y'all from A to Z how to do this. Well, anyway, it's how to shape up your beard the easy way. So I'll show you exactly how I do it. With a lot of dudes, they have the hair that connects here. Mine doesn't really do that, so I don't mess around with it. I'll clear it out. So the video itself is 21 minutes and 12 seconds. And I just show you step by step how to shape your beard up. So if you want to learn how to shape your beard up, I got you. It is literally called How to Shape Up Your Beard. So, there you have it. So let me see. Richie Alberg says, yeah, I love that video, son. That's what's up. Appreciate you. All right. Oh, man. Oakland says, y'all see the dude in Jacksonville where they fucking sucker punched him if through the window because he didn't have his headlights on day? Oh, man. All right. Brandon says, man, pull this younger man up and listen to him. You just did the beard video. Trust me, powerful young man. Appreciate you. Bryce D says, bring it back at it like a crack addict. Crack attack, my guy. Yo, man, good to see you. Without a doubt. Thanks for coming through. Now, that's the real Troy right there, because the real Troy brings his calling card. What up? Brandon says, real talk, not in total agreement with him, but wow, he knows the Bible. Who are you talking about? I know you ain't talking about me because I don't know the Bible like that. I know a couple of verses, but I'm definitely not a biblical scholar. TK Wright says your beard is lined up perfectly, like you use the ruler and a can of snow. Well, look, this shit ain't gonna get no darker. You know what I'm saying? I'm gray. I'm silver for life. I'm absolutely silver for life. So it is what it is. But yeah, you can shape your beard up to look. You can get it right. You gonna fuck up a few times. I wasn't always good at it, but I'm too cheap to be running to the barber all the time. So yeah, I rock the video. I teach you how to do the top and the bottom and how to get it real clean, because the clippers ain't gonna clean it, but so far. You wanna have it I do my shit every other day. So today was shave day. My next shave day will be Friday. Then Sunday, then Tuesday. You get it? All right. Appreciate you, T. Carey, right? Oh, you said this link. He was on a live video I was watching right before you. All right, that's what's up. Well, where's the link? How come you didn't share the link? Share the link. Yeah. So that's how I was introduced to the word being desperate, or the word desperate. So I don't think we really knew what we was talking about.
You have a call from
Who? Who is that? Who is that?
I am the original Troy Dada.
Are you the real Troy? Are you the real one them called Troy?
The one them called known as the Dan Dada of Troy.
I need the real Troy. These fake fugazi, false flag Troy.
I used to work in a hurry. I love my chicken with the goat named Curry.
Oh shit, boys. But
Don't worry me. Don't worry me.
Oh, do I get ingrown hairs? Sometimes, but I don't get them a lot because I keep my razors clean and I drink a lot of water.
And considering that he doesn't eat, he does a lot of cleansing. He wipes his face down with fried chicken grease on his face.
Look, I don't even use, if y'all watch the video, you'll see I don't even use shaving cream and all that. And there's nothing wrong with shaving cream, but I don't need that.
Fried chicken grease.
You know what I mean? Like, no.
Like hustle, man.
No, we good. No. What?
So,
you know what, Brandon? Maybe YouTube doesn't let you post links because we don't see any links on it. I know I don't see any. Do y'all see a link? Because I definitely don't see it. So I don't know. I don't know. Somebody named Omar is in the chat. Now we used to have real Omars here. I don't know.
Omar but that's not Omar with the.
No, but we used to have two Omars without the, but they was real. Okay. Omar says, nah, YouTube don't let you post links. That sounds about right. Now I posted links and I don't know if y'all could see them. Maybe I could see them on my end and maybe y'all couldn't see them on y'all end. YouTube just mean. They're like, no, you can't leave this platform. You know what I mean? You got to stay right here. You probably have to, and you know, maybe that's why a lot of bloggers be like, yo, the link is in the bio or the link is in the description. Maybe that's why. Okay, Omar, he says, I'm Omar Thompson. What up, man? Thanks for coming through. Appreciate you. All right. Okay. So, Troy, this whole thing about desperation, being desperate. Now, the title of the show is "It's Easier to Make a Desperate Person Happy." Do you agree with that premise?
Yeah, because when they're desperate, the smallest thing can make them happy.
Well, normally, I'm thinking that when a person is desperate, they normally know exactly what they need. Their needs don't be all over the place. They don't be like, I need this and that and blah, 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 blah. No, not if you desperate. Now, if you just needy or greedy, yeah, you might need a whole lot of other shit. But if you desperate, you have broken it down to its lowest common denominator. So it's like, yo, I'm hungry. I need food. I ain't worried about shit else. I need food. If I'm homeless, I need a place to stay. If you horny, I need sex. Now, the question is, being horny, is that really a state of desperation? Because that might be a judgment call for a lot of people.
Well, if you just came home from prison, I'm pretty sure that you're desperate.
Yeah, but some people look at sex like it's never a need. It's always a want.
No, I think that that can be true, but I think that if you're just coming home from prison, I think it's a need at that time. I think it's a need. You know, you might got to do everything up, but if you need to get that off your chest.
Okay, but like I said, some people look at sex like it's only a want. But the thing is, some people look at love like it's only a want and not a need.
Yeah. Like this,
but you can definitely be desperate for love.
That's true. Real desperate.
But here's the thing. Desperate. You know, love is so subjective in the way that it's perceived and the way that it's delivered. Will you make it?
But the thing, if you're desperate for love, at times when that desperation can lead to being taken for granted.
And this is the meat and potatoes of what I'm trying to talk about.
Right.
Okay. So how, maybe what we need to find out is how bad does somebody have to need something in order to get to the point of desperation? Like, for example, like, okay, if we're talking about food, how hungry do I have to be, or how long does it have to be since I've eaten before I'm desperate? Now, we know that you can go without food for months, but you can't go without water for a week.
Well, I think that, when it comes to food, and I think that, like, after maybe, if you ate earlier and you're hungry, like maybe 6, 7 hours afterwards, that's there might be somebody's norm. That's when the desperation kicks in.
That's not desperate. That's not desperate at all.
So
Scientifically, I mean, desperate would be starving. Like, at least a day or two.
Well, so if you haven't ate all day,
you be in need. You may be in need or in want, but you're not desperate. Not even close. Now, you have to think about, for some people, the desperation is in their mind. But I'm not talking about when it's in your mind. I'm talking about when it's a real thing.
When your stomach touching your back.
Well, how long will it take for your stomach to touch your back?
Oh, well, that's about half hour. Maybe more than that.
You better talk about half a month. If you're hungry to the point where you have not even lost weight yet, if you're hungry at a degree where you haven't even lost weight yet, you're not at the point of desperation. You're hungry.
So you talking about that? See, you talking about that desperation?
Yeah.
Like you don't like. You really, if you can't say that you're desperate because you don't need to eat that much. You don't have to eat that. Your body can eat or feed off of your body at times.
Like I said, you can live for months without food. Months. You cannot make it a week without water. Water.
I couldn't make it a week without water, but I think my water would taste better if I had like one of them noodles package with the chicken flavor in it. Might be a lot better.
You won't make it till Saturday without water.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Just scientifically. Like,
well, I mean, that's pretty much a version of fasting right there then.
So when we're talking about desperation, I'm talking about a person that's really hungry.
I'm getting an understanding of what you're talking about now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting an understanding of what you're talking about. Like you said, you don't have to. You can go a month without food. Some people, go longer than that, depending on what it is in their mind that they don't need to go there. They're not. They don't have to eat nothing. But drink water. I've seen a person. Matter of fact, my son fasted for 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
He fasted for 2 months.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it can be done, but you really have to, but the desperation, he did that because he wanted to do it. Now, if you're homeless or you're going through, the formalities of not having, that's different.
Yeah. Fasting would definitely not put you in a desperate state.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean? Because that's voluntary.
So homeless people
absolutely are desperate for a home because they don't have a home. But the thing is, because of the mental illness, not all homeless people want a home.
Yeah, you preach on that. You're right about that.
Now they all need it. They all need a home, but they don't all want a home. So if you're there's so many different ways to be homeless. You can be homeless because of your mental illness. You can be homeless because somebody kicked you out, or you could be homeless because you got evicted. Now, if somebody has kicked you out of the crib and you're homeless now, or if you've been evicted from your crib, and now you're homeless, you are going to be in a state of desperation because you have just come from a place where you had shelter, and then you want to get right back into it. You ain't no bum on the street. So like sleeping on a park bench or some shit like that is going to be, that's going to be hellish for you. You know what I mean? Especially like I can see it, maybe if you had a car, because people have slept in their cars, but let's say you ain't got no car. You ain't even got no place. You got put out of your place. They put all your shit out and you don't even have no place to store your shit. So anybody can just come along and steal your shit, but you need a place to stay.
Mm-hmm.
You might have more stuff than you can carry with you. So your state of desperation has come quick. So when I say that it's easier to make a desperate person happy, the first person that comes along and says, "Yo, I got a room for you. You can stay with me." That's going to make them happy. Now, what happens after that can take the person out of desperation and keep them happy, or it can put them in a worse situation and create a different type of desperation.
Mm-hmm. Like I was just getting ready to laugh. I was getting ready to say what Jason Sloan just said about a heroin addict, you know, and their desperation to get that other hit. You know, that even though they, you want them.
Excuse me, heroin addicts don't get hits; they have fixes.
Well, they have what?
A fix.
Oh, okay, my fault.
Yeah, you're thinking about crack. That's a hit.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, my fault. My fault with the terminology, Professor Street Knowledge.
Don't disrespect these dope fiends.
But that's so disrespect. But that's the truth. You're right. So their desperation of getting a fix is they need that. And honestly, if you're on it, you do need it, because if you don't get it, you're gonna go through that withdrawal. And from experience of seeing people going through withdrawal, that is something that you really don't want to have to go through.
Right. That's the thing is, are they happy when they get the fix?
Yes, I mean, you really can't tell if they're happy because they're not so quick that they be.
But you understand what I just asked you?
Yeah.
Because
you really can't know. What? That's a damn good question. That's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
Are they happy when they get that fix?
There's a difference between being satisfied and being happy.
Well, yeah, that's a good question.
Now, from what I know about heroin addicts, because I've had the pleasure of knowing a good few, when they get their fix, they're not really happy, but they are more relieved because they're getting to a point where when you're a dope fiend, you're not high all the time. In the eyes of other addicts, you're really just getting back to normal. Just like people who smoke weed all the time, they're not really getting high. They're high to sober people, but to themselves and other people who do what they do, they're just getting back to normal. So for a dope fiend that is trying to stave off withdrawal symptoms, there is a sense of mental desperation, but they're not necessarily going to be happy when they get their fix. They're going to be relieved because those withdrawal symptoms are violent and it can make them feel like they're going to die. Now, I used to think that when you are a really bad heroin addict, if you didn't get the drugs, then you could die. That was a much believed thing growing up. Turns out it's not true. Very little people die from going cold turkey, no matter how bad of an addict they were. Very few. Like the percentage is so low, it's like under 10%. It may be under 5%. But we didn't know that. You know what I mean? And probably the reason that we didn't know it was because they didn't want us to know that, because that would almost justify, trying it out maybe. So they told us a lot of things to deter us from going down that road. How well that worked, I don't know. I can't say. What up, Jason? What's good? And also Dr. Darnell, my people, thanks for coming through. And Actunify. So yeah. Now I want to take a little time to think about. Excuse me. Bless you too. Now, normally my sneezes come in threes. So let me see. I want to take a little time to talk about people who may prey on people who are desperate, and some of the successes and failures that they may have dealing with people who they try to prey on who are desperate. Now, do you get what kind of situations come to your mind when you think of people preying on people who are desperate?
Let me see. Older men and younger women. You know, I think that older men prey on the younger women, and they see the desperation, considering it, especially when they feel as though they can pull up on them in a way where somebody puts Troy's hot dad. What the fuck is wrong with people, man? And boy. Especially when you sit back and you look at them and be like, damn, they look like they're in that desperation. They need to pay some rent. Like, I mean, in that area that I'm going into, you know what I mean?
Okay. Now the thing is, old heads can prey on young women or younger women. But the question is, were those young women desperate, or were they predatory, they motherfucking selves, or greedy? There's a difference between wanting something and needing something and being desperate for something. Both of them have their own tier. When you're desperate for something, you need it really bad, and you probably haven't had it in a long time. It can be, it may be the fact that you're in an emergent state, but you're definitely in a needy state to a certain degree. Mm-hmm. So, like when it comes to this sugar daddy and tricking shit, I'm not sure if the women that they're dealing with are desperate. Just because you need a place to stay doesn't mean that you're desperate, because it doesn't necessarily mean that you didn't have a place to stay. Now, if you homeless out on the street, more than likely a sugar daddy ain't coming to get you. But if you are homeless, like your name ain't on no lease, and you staying with your cousin, sleeping on a couch bed or on a futon, that doesn't necessarily make you desperate. You understand what I mean? Oh, shit. This should be interesting. Hold on a second.
You have a call from
caller with the last number is 7377. Welcome to the Daily Go Getimism Show. Thank you for calling in. What's on your mind tonight?
What's up, bro? It's your boy Jay.
My man.
What's going on?
Jason is in the house. What's going on?
Yeah, I got just something. I'm just saying the girlies are free because the crack costs money. Oh, yeah. Well, that's the real shit. Like, for real. That's the real shit. Drugs, I've never seen anything like it. More than someone being wanting pussy, more than somebody wanting food.
Hold it just
you
a
have
second.
a call
like
from
Troy.
Troy, did you get dropped off?
Yeah, I got dropped.
All right, go ahead, Jason.
All right. What I'm saying is, if you talk about somebody being able to take advantage of somebody's desperation, there's nothing like hardcore drugs. We've all seen. You get people to do things that they would never have dreamt they would do.
That's a fact.
Before they got hooked on that shit.
Boy.
And yeah, so talk about desperation and someone's ability to manipulate it, and we see it. I mean, we see it every day. Every day. You know, from especially like in terms of like sex trade, shit. That's I mean, so that, to me, that is just like the sort of the epitome of what you're talking about. Like somebody, not the happy part, but somebody being able to manipulate someone because they're desperate. And that shit is rampant. So that was it. What's up, Troy?
What's going on now, Jason?
Oh man, just chilling. I don't even know what time it is. It's like
it's 3:21 in the morning, baby. 3:21 in the morning. But let me ask you this before you go. Let me ask you this: Do you make when it comes to drug addiction and drug use and drug abuse? Do you make the distinction between wanting the drugs and needing the drugs, as far as desperation is concerned?
No, because I think it is so strong psychologically that there really is no real distinction.
Okay.
There. I mean, you know, like you said.
Oh yeah.
Heroin addict. It is there's, you know, someone could try to scientifically argue between need and want, but just from a experiential human standpoint, no, there's no difference, man. The need is the want is the need. I'll say it like this: they'll go from wanting to needing desperately.
And I definitely agree that the way that they will approach the situation of needing is from a desperate standpoint. You know, like what was it? Minister Society. I suck your dick.
Yo, I used to have and this is fucked up. I was young. I remember, but I had this crackhead that lived across the. Well, he didn't live across the street. He would hang out across the street at the convenience store. And I had this tiny plot of land, like in the back of the house I rented, and the landlord was cheap as fuck, so he had an old school push mower. Like it didn't even have an engine; he just pushed it rolls.
Man, and, listen.
I needed to cut that shit. And I didn't want to cut it. And I was like, yo, reach out to the crackhead. And I said, look, man, I'll give you, I don't know, it's probably $10 at the time to cut the joint. And he's like, yeah, okay. I went in the house. Like 2 minutes later, he's knocking on the door. And I'm like, come on, man, you ain't finished. I told you got to bag it up and everything. Yo, he was finished. That shit was clean.
Listen.
Everything bagged up. He could not wait to get that $10. I was like, this nigga has superhuman powers.
I used to say all the time, if you could get the same motivation to make the amount of money that is spent on crack, if you could be off of crack and have that same that same hustling mentality, yo, you be king out here. But the thing is, all the money got to go to the pipe. All of it.
Yeah. But shit, we can even go old school. My mom grew up in Brickyard, Germantown.
Okay.
And it was no better than it is now. It just was always what it is. And she had an uncle who been in and out of jail, whatever. He was a hardcore alcoholic. Cats in the neighborhood would buy him a couple of beers to beat the shit out of enemies. And he would do it. Yeah, he would do it because he was desperate for that shit. He would do it for a couple of beers. And then he'd end up back in jail. So I mean, man, it's crazy. The need want continuum with drugs, it just gets erased, and people can get people to do wild shit. And it's sad, but that desperation is for real.
It's a serious thing.
They'd rather have that shit than food. They'd rather have it than food.
And
that's something else.
And let me tell you something. I don't consider you to have exploited that crackhead that cut the grass. You were providing labor opportunities for him. Real shit.
Well,
You know what I mean?
he also provided opportunities for me to buy resold items. So he was.
I call that bartering. That's a bartering system, and we need to.
Fair exchange is no robbery.
Hey, look, man, he came through. He was dedicated too, y'all. He came through with a car battery one time, and he had a wire hanger to show me that it worked. He was like,
Hey, nobody. We said they was on crack. We never said they was dumb. Them motherfuckers, they came from somewhere. They went to science class, and you knew what the fuck. Listen,
absolutely.
Listen, man. Yo, it look like they did well in science and speech communication. No motherfuckers can talk.
Crack will turn you into MacGyver.
You think it won't?
You will become the most adaptable, adapt and overcome guy that ever existed to get that crack. And it's
facts.
It's crazy. I think this is I'm gonna hang up, but I think this is a great topic, by the way, man, because it's some real shit.
Appreciate you calling through, dog. You already know.
Wait. To Troy's point, though, I hear what you're saying. Oh, about like the sugar baby thing and sugar daddy. Like, are they really desperate? But I think some of the sugar daddies are desperate.
Some of the what?
Well, that's why I said she might be predatory herself. You know what I mean? It ain't that predator thing. Ain't. Listen, we talk just like there was a Diddy, there was a Cassie. It ain't always a one-way predatory street. You know what I mean?
No, right.
So yeah, we definitely gonna get into that. I wasn't finished with it.
All right, y'all.
All right, man.
Show.
Take care.
To work. Later.
Good looking. But yeah. So getting back on, the whole sugar daddy thing. Here's the thing, she may have come to him desperate, or she may not have. But when we talk about it's easier to make a desperate person happy, we also have to factor our ego into the whole equation of the happiness. A lot of times, people who love to make people happy, they love to see people smile. They love to help people. A lot of times, they're desperate for attention, desperate for praise, desperate for affirmation, sometimes confirmation. You know what I'm saying? So when I think about the word desperate, I'm normally thinking around along the lines of needing something real bad, but it can definitely be just wanting something really bad. And if that's all you really know, then that's all the desperation that you need to have experience. But when we say, so when we go to the whole, whether we're talking about a sugar daddy and a sugar baby, or whether we're just talking about a relationship where one person has more than the other person has, and they are able to provide, whether they're providing money, whether they're providing a better life or better living conditions, or whatever the case may be, the person who comes to that person in desperation may be served up with some predatory energy. God damn, man, these motherfuckers will make a bunch of accounts and just keep it coming. Like, what the hell?
I don't know what's wrong with people.
Yo, I mean, what do they have? A bunch of accounts just like ready to fire off? That shit is wild. For real. You know what I mean? Like, because you gotta have email addresses for every account that you have. So when they just making up a bunch of email addresses, they never have to verify them. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Anyway, so whether you're talking about a man and a woman, or a woman and a man, that's like whether the person is homeless or whether they are just in need of money, maybe a place to stay, maybe a better situation because they're down right now. A person, a person who just got out of jail may be desperate. They may not have anybody home. One thing about when you're released on parole, you can't be released on parole if you don't have an address to go home to. So if nobody provides you with a place, if nobody provides you with a place that you can use as an address, you can't come home on parole.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So
that's a major form of desperation.
exactly. So you may be desperate to get somebody to say, well, listen, just like in Baby Boy, where Snoop was using what was the girl's name? Jody's baby mom. Whatever her name was, she looks Keisha.
You can call her Taraji.
Right? Yeah, she let him, use her address. It came to bite her in the ass, but if she hadn't done that, he would have had to found somebody else who would let them use his address. And he actually has to live there. Because the parole agent is going to come and make sure that he's staying there. And he may not necessarily be on a house arrest situation where he has to wear the ankle bracelet, but the parole agent is going to come by the house to make sure that it's suitable, that there are no known felons in the house, and all that. There's a lot to it. So you may be desperate to come home from jail, which is a reasonable desperation. Like, yo, I'm trying to get out of the belly of the beast. So I need you to, provide this place for me to stay, at least until I can walk off my time, or, at least get to the point where my PO trusts me, so I can, start working, get another place or something. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, but the person who provides that address for you might take unfair advantage of you. So even though you don't have a lot of money, because you need to get a job when you're on parole, all that shit, have verifiable income, you ain't no working under the table, ain't none of that shit. You might have to they might have you working and have you giving them all your money. You know what I'm saying? Straight taking
it. Desperate. As the old saying goes, desperate times call for desperate measures.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But the question is, did you make that ex-con or that inmate happy by giving him what he needed in his desperation? You gave him the place to stay, but did that make him happy?
Yeah, that's the truth.
Initially, it may have. Like, damn, man, thank you so much. I'm gonna be home in October.
We didn't have to stay at a halfway house or something like that.
The halfway houses are okay. So when you come home in a halfway house, you still have to have a place where you can live after the halfway house.
Okay.
So the halfway house is for people who are home on parole, and the parole board may not feel like they're suitable to be up in the crib yet, because they know they can run free. So the halfway house is designed so they have to still report back to the halfway house, and they keep tabs on them. So you might have to stay in the halfway house after you get out of jail. You may have to stay in the halfway house for maybe 3 months, 6 months, some shit like that. And most inmates hate the halfway house, because the halfway house they're going to drug test you. You got to have a job, got to have verifiable. You can't spend the night out. Can't have nobody.
You gotta be back at a certain time.
Got to be back at a certain time, and you got to come alone. And no, you can't have no company. So you're going to get some ass. You might have to run over to your chick crib real quick right after work and have your ass back to that halfway house. Because when the doors close at the halfway house, they close all the way. And they're gonna report that you didn't make it back on time. They're gonna report that to your PO. You can find your ass right back upstate. You don't get to plead your case in the county when you have a parole violation. You get right back on the bus.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's a lot to it. It's a lot to it, but people may take advantage of that situation. You know, like you was desperate for a place to stay. Now I'm extort you. So when you go to work, I need 80% of whatever you make. Let me see that check stub. You don't do it, I'm gonna tell your parole officer that you had a beer.
Okay.
I've seen shit like this done.
Damn.
You know? So yeah, it's easy to make a desperate person happy, but at the same time, these predators can take unfair advantage of the happiness that that may have come with desperation. So yeah. And this ain't the only time. This is not the only situation. That's an extreme situation. Because you might be taking a chance on somebody that's in jail, trying to extort somebody that's in jail might not be the best idea.
That might not be.
You know what I mean? He was in jail. He was in jail for drug sales or for robbery. He in jail for a body. Yours. You know what I mean? Push the motherfucker too far. Push them too far. So so
What you laughing at?
I'm laughing at Omar's comment. That shit is hilarious. Yo, motherfucker.
I want them to leave me the fuck alone.
Yo, these motherfuckers, boy. I don't know. You listen, man. You touched by an angel. You done had an impact on motherfuckers crazy. But anyway, yeah, this is easier to make a desperate person happy. Now, let's say you get with a woman. You get with a woman and she's desperate. Maybe she has children. Maybe she has, she got bills. It's like she might have some real serious financial problems. You know what I mean? Trying to keep her head above water, trying to keep food on the table, trying to keep a roof overhead, trying to keep her kids educated and out of trouble and all of that shit. You come along, you see, what she need in order to get back on her feet. She's a little bit desperate, maybe not all the way. She might have she might be humble enough to let you know that she has needs, but still proud enough to try to take care of her needs herself. You come along and you take care of her financial situation. Threw a couple of dollars at her. You know what I mean? Looked out for the cookout. Mm-hmm. Everything good. She happy. You know what I mean? I got a good man, good loving. You know what I'm saying? He held it down. He even made sure that my kids was taken care of and everything. I got myself a real man. And a real man might be thinking like, yeah, I made my baby. I'm happy. I came in, took care of the financial situations, took over the bill situation, managing the funds and all that. She good to go. Look, she happy. I love her. She love me. Everything is fine. Until she's not in that desperate state anymore. It was easy to make her happy when her problems were financial. She get a better job. She started making her own money. She has other things than, she's gotten out of the desperate state. It might not be as easy to make her happy as it was when y'all first got together. Because when y'all first, the thing she needed the most was money. Now, money is not her biggest issue. she makes more and you provided more. She may need something or require something, or maybe it's not even about what she want or needs. She just want to show you that she ain't no bum, and now she might have flipped the script on you, and is calling you a predator or a user. Like, you used me because you knew that I needed money and that my shit was fucked up. Now you acting all funny because you figure you got me like that because I need your money or whatever, but I don't need your money. Look,
talking about when the money be money.
I mean, people, man, let me see. When motherfuckers are dead pop, which is a slang for having no money, yeah, they are desperate. And if you just give them $5, $10 or whatever, oh my God, man, God sent you to me. I appreciate you so much. You are an angel, blah, 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 blah. But once they got a couple of $100 on them, that $5 that you was providing before don't mean so much. It don't weigh so heavy. So, a person might change the way that they act based on their needs or lack thereof nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So even if your intentions as the provider were good, like yeah, I helped you out because I really saw the good in you, and I want to see your situation improve or whatever. Your intentions were grounded in the right place. But you didn't realize that this person that was desperate, that you got with, was desperate because they burned all their bridges.
Right.
Because that's what they do. She a bridge burning bitch.
Like a literal bridge burner.
Yo, I met him. They fuck everybody. They fuck everybody who help them. My cousin came along, I fucked them bad. My dad came along, now I fucked them bad. My mom kicked me out because I fucked her bad. My girl got rid of me, I fucked her bad. My mans don't fuck with me, I fucked them bad. Everybody helps me out, I make them mad. Ain't nobody ever gonna be able to do me, but the story that I tell is like they wasn't true to me. And yo, now I'm desperate again. You help me out and best believe you will not be my friend. But I ain't gonna tell you that body always tried to put me down. So please help me out, mister or sister, anybody else. Please don't diss me. The shit is gonna find out. It will be revealed. Yo, the spirit he kills. It's shit, yeah, motherfuckers, when they was down on their luck, when they was in need, oh man, thank you so much. Yo, I'm gonna pay you back. Yo, I'm just so grateful that God put somebody like you in my life. Yo, that's when they was desperate. That's when they was in need. That's when they were needy. As soon as they get a couple of dollars, they start working. You know what I mean? Best believe, once a motherfucker makes enough money to be able to go to the clothes store, trust me, their attitude gonna change.
Yeah, see, that's like New York people. It's a done deal, big.
Listen, there's something about being able to buy new clothes that change motherfuckers.
Yeah, other than that's true. Other than the fact that you want bowling in a pigeon suit and your new sneaks, but there's more to that.
Man, motherfuckers switch up. So even though your intentions were good, you realize that you done hooked up with somebody who is not only selfish, but predatory in their own right. And trust me, there ain't shit that you can do now to make them happy. It was easy as shit to make them happy when they had nothing. Now that they got something, they happiness be bobbing and weaving like Ali didn't bob and weave enough. Pernell Whitaker couldn't lay a glove. You can't lay a glove on their happiness. Kung Fu Master.
Shit, when you say that, that's the one right there.
What's the one?
Kung Fu Master. Yeah, let you put a nut, a hand, a nut on that motherfucker.
Look, Jason said, her son 752. So what you're saying is the key to a good relationship is keeping her desperate. Damn, I've been doing it wrong. And you know what? Even though you might be joking, a lot of men have actually, this is exactly what they did. Like, yo, I mean, this is exactly what pimps do. Them hoes don't, they hoes don't get the hold no money. No money. Mm-mm. Dress nice, give them a place to stay, feed them, and all of that shit. No dough.
You got my money? Baby doll, you got my money?
No dough. No dough. Or very little. Just enough to get by. On some Talib Kweli shit. But yeah. But it's what my dad called, trying to get some pussy and winding up getting fucked. It happens. It happens.
You ever been desperate?
Yeah. Maybe not desperate for the help. By God's grace, I've never needed a place to stay. My God blessed me with parents that owned their houses. He blessed me with a father that owned houses, played around with them things. I've never paid rent a day in my life. I don't know what a rent payment looks like. I've never written a check or given money to a landlord, ever. I'm the only person I know that can say that. I've never paid a mortgage either. I've owned every place I've ever lived. Not too many people can say that. It's a blessing that I don't take for granted. Because I was a landlord for so many years, I've seen the other side where people had to come to me and they were mad desperate. So I've given breaks, I've given discounts, I've given all right, you don't have the 2 months security, 1 month's rent. All right, give me the month's security and a month's rent. You know what I mean? So I've helped in that regard. But so I'm saying all that to say that I don't know what necessarily, I've been broke before, but I've never been financially desperate. And I've never had the threat of being out on the streets. One time I almost lost my crib to sheriff's sale, but I didn't although I was dangerously close to it, I've never been out of my house. So, now have I been desperate in other ways? Yeah. Yeah. Like, in more creative ways, like, I've definitely, been in a room alone with a chick and wanted that ass so bad that I was almost willing to say or do anything. But it didn't work anyway. You know what I'm saying? It didn't work. You know what I'm saying? So,
What you say it worked?
It didn't work. It didn't work anyway. And I wasn't really desperate. I was just horny and lustful in a motherfucker. Like, yo, but I had been, but in school, there were times I fucked up in my classes. You know what I mean? At Penn State, as you may know, you can only have a certain amount of late drop classes. I spent all of mine in damn near freshman year. So any classes I took after my sophomore year, that was it. So if I needed that grade, I needed that grade. Failure wasn't an option. So my final year, yeah, I've definitely been desperate before. My final year, my final semester up at the main campus, I took statistics. Now, I was never terrible in math, but I was never great in it. Because with math, you have to practice. And I was always bad at practice, scholastically. So I was doing good in the stat class. I was acing all the quizzes. And I mean acing them. If there were 10 problems on the quizzes, I was always getting like 9 out of the 10. I've never been perfect. So I was acing the quizzes. The fucking exam came up.
What happened?
Troy, I got a motherfucking 7 on that bitch. Yeah, a 7. I knew I failed it when I don't know what happened when the
7 out of what?
100. So I'm failing. You can't come back from a 7. I ain't even have why didn't I just get the 0? Because I knew something happened, something froze in me, whatever. This is my I need this class to graduate. It was the final math that I needed. I gotta get this. I gotta have this class. I gotta pass it.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to the professor. It was this white chick. I don't even know if she was a professor, but she was teaching class. You know what I mean? She looked more TA-ish. You know what I mean? The teacher's assistant, or was it PA? Professors, whatever. I went to her. I said, "Listen, as you can see, I messed up on the exam, and I don't really know why." She was like, "Yeah, I was going to ask you. I was going to actually come talk to you about this because you did. I knew you weren't cheating because there's no way you could cheat on the quizzes, but you were doing so well in the quizzes, and then all of a sudden on the exam, you ran into some real problems. Like, what happened?" I said, "I don't know. Like, I just froze up on the exam, and I kicked some Willy Bobo." Whatever. I said, "Listen, this is my last semester and I really have to have this course. I have to pass this course and I can't pass it with a D." She said, "Okay." She said, "Okay, this is what we're going to do." She said, "If you continue to do well in the courses and you have to do better, much better. It shouldn't be hard for you to do better than you did when the midterm come up. I don't think that what you gonna do, get a 9? Like, yeah." So, she hooked me up. She said, "If you continue to do well in the quizzes, I'll take those more into consideration. And if you do well on the midterms, then if you do well on the midterms and the final, then I'll throw that first exam out." So, listen, it was sink or swim. It was sink or swim. Came back. I think on the midterm, I got like a C. A C and a 7. That ain't good. Get it. So I had to kill the final. I don't think I killed the final, but I know I did better on the final than the midterm. So maybe I got a C plus, maybe I got a B minus, you know what I mean? Some shit like that. But I did ace all of the quizzes throughout the whole class. So she deduced that I was just maybe a bad test taker, but not a bad student. So, yeah, I came out of it with a C.
Well, hey.
She blessed me. Yo, what? What? Yo, I was desperate for that grade. I wasn't going nowhere if I would have failed that class.
Right.
And I started out with a 7. That was instant desperation. No matter what, like with a 7, even if I got 100 on the next joint, I'm still sub 50. Well,
Wow.
it would have put me at like 53. Ooh. So yeah, it was so yeah, that was a desperation moment. I've had many others, but that was one. That's definitely one that sticks out in my mind. I needed something that I couldn't give myself, and somebody else had to give it to me. Now, suppose she would have took unfair advantage of me, like, oh, you need to pass this class, huh? Well, you meet me at my apartment later on. I'd be like, I can't believe I'm not, I'm not into white women. I'm Public Enemy, Fight the Power, Malcolm X. Where you live at? So I was getting that, like, fuck this. Who gonna know? Who's she gonna tell? In a couple of months, I'll be out of here. I mean?
That's funny.
But yeah. So yeah, of course I've been let me think. I've definitely been in some desperate situations. Like but there are levels to it, there are degrees to it, you know what I'm saying?
That's another major degree, bro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Major degree, bro.
Luckily, I haven't been the life or I haven't been in the life or death desperation thing. You never know. You never know what problems tomorrow may hold or bear. But so far, I've been blessed in the health department. And there've been times when I was broke, for sure. Like after our business folded in 2007, I was good for 2007, 2008, 2009. Things started to get a little, they started to get a little choppy. Cause I was like, I lost my birthright. I was never supposed to have to work for nobody again. I had to go back out there and find a job. I was like, find a job doing what? Real estate? You know what I mean? I got mad skills. I got a fucking degree. I'm like, what am I gonna do? Like,
you got a degree and you got trades.
Yeah, but
But you wanted to use that degree.
No. I don't. I mean, my degree was in criminal justice, well, administration of justice. There ain't a job, but that wasn't a job in that motherfucker that I wanted to do. But I also had like no, the fuck I couldn't. Oh no, I absolutely could not. I could not do that. You know what I'm saying? Fuck out of here. But I had a emphasis in sociology, so I could have done something on that side. You know what I mean? I was willing to do that, like maybe work for, as a social worker or something like that. I always dug that. As a matter of fact, I have friends in that field that have been trying to get me to come over there for years. Jason said, never paid rent or mortgage. That's an incredible blessing. It is. And I don't take that for granted. I'm proud as fuck to be able to say that. But it's miraculously. It's miraculous. Even when because I never lived off campus when I was in school. So yeah, I've never paid rent. Never paid it. So, that's a blessing with it. But you never know. I say, oh no, I always have. You don't know. You don't know. You never know. Like I said, I never thought I would work for another man in my life. It wasn't set up for me to have to do that. Guess what happened? Now, I wasn't desperate, but when the money started running out, it felt desperate. Like I ain't had no more houses to sell and no shit like that. I was like,
I remember those days, bro.
Yeah, shoot. I might not have had a mortgage, but I sure had electric bill, gas bill, water bill. You know what I'm saying? Had the nerve to have cable. It's a scary situation when you paying money out and you don't have none coming in.
That's the truth. That is the truth.
$5,000 cash is a nice little stash when you're working and making money. When that's all you got to your name, you see the end quick. You start adding up your monthly expenses. You're like, this shit. I ain't gonna make it to Halloween.
That shit's scary.
You're scary as shit.
That shit's scary.
This is fucking terrifying. All right, man. It's 4:00. We out.
Oh damn! Did you see us in 4:01? You was like, fuck that.
Yeah. We out. Yeah,
Look, man, it's always a pleasure, man.
Always.
I don't know who's fucking with me with this Troy shit, but this shit's getting on my nerves, bro.
Man, this shit is interesting and fucked up.
And Maritza, I have to ask you. You told me what's the price for the Maritza? So she was like, me.
Man. Hold on. Let's do before you go, let's do the poll. All right, out of 41 votes, what is your idea of being desperate? All right, 37% said someone who is broke and homeless. 41%, which is the largest percentage, says someone who wants something bad or really bad. They just wouldn't allow me to have as many characters to say really bad. 7% says someone who hasn't had sex in a long time. And 15% said someone who is jealous. I didn't get a chance to really cover that, how jealous can make you feel desperate. But yeah, it can. Jealousy is a fucked up emotion that it'll take you a lot of different places, none of which you have no business being.
That's the truth.
You know what I mean?
That's the truth.
Being jealous of something or somebody will definitely make you feel like you're in the state of desperation because you're so busy trying to prevent something from somebody from being able to have something, or you're trying to take something from someone else. And to you, it's a real thing. Shit. That shit cray. All right, my dude.
All right, boy. Get with me, man.
All right, I'll holler at you tomorrow's bill.
I'll holler at you.
All right.
All right.
All right, y'all. We have some birthday shout outs to do. Some people were born on this glorious July 30th, and they deserve to be acknowledged. So let's go about our business of acknowledging them and making them feel special because they are special, because they are special, because they are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They get the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They get the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. They get the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They get number one out the box, Sylvia Towns. Happy birthday. And Petwell February, happy birthday. And Nyree Williams Harvey, Cecilia Nash, Tanita Little, Chiquita Law, Tash Helms, Kia Speller, comedian Lamar Todd, Tamika Evans, my girl Tamika Evans used to live right around the corner. And last but not least, my people's Tamara Jones. I want to say happy birthday to all of y'all. And I hope that today finds you all in good health, happiness, mind, body, soul, and spirit. And that goes out to each and every person out there born on this glorious July 30th, anywhere out there in the world, worldwide, internationally, and universally. All of y'all go ahead and turn up. But don't turn up too loud. Just turn up loud enough so everybody can hear you. Rock out. Rock on and do the damn, the rock out. Rock on to do the damn rock out. Rock on and do the damn thing. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind. And anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours, and go hard, go for yours, and go hard, go for yours. And remember, yo, when you're desperate, that means that you're in need. You feel like you just cut and you're gonna bleed. Bleed out, that means you need a tourniquet or at least a patch. Yo, you can't get it, catch. You a cab can't get to the place where the hospital is. The doctors are all over the place and you need not to bleed out, but you feel like you about to have a bad readout. Flatline is coming to you. So you need somebody to really come through and stop that bleeding. Yo, stop that pressure, apply pressure before you become something lesser than a person that was alive. You're unalive, you're dead in the motherfucker. Yo, you didn't survive. And I've been in places and situations where I had trauma and it was causing drama. Yo, trauma is all you really need to realize that you're on a different speed and you're trying to slow down, sometimes speed up. Yo, you are in an emergency state, yup. I'm sorry, almost messed up the mouth motion. Sometimes the shit is like a bad potion, and I feel like I get a little tongue-tied, but I'm not cotton mouth. Everybody's going to ride. I got feelings inside, and it ain't always on the desperate type of shit. I'm just kind of wild. I'm wild. I was born as a young child, August 12th, up in this motherfucker. Just how we dial up a different kind of plan for you, my man. I'm like Usher. Yo, here I stand. What's the deal with y'all? Do you have something, a way to feel with y'all? I remember when I was young, and sometimes I feel like I was kind of strung. Even though I never tried no drugs in my life, still trying to find a way to not to be trite. Trife is a word, and I feel like sometimes I studied and I was like a nerd, just trying to find me a way to be a little better than I was before. Yeah, and that's for sure. Some people say that's for sure, that's for sure. Yo, this is part of the show. You know how it go. I told a line, find me the best wine. Yo, that shit ain't no Mad Dogs. It's kind of like Calvin Klein's that was on somebody's butt. I remember, yo, Run DMC, yo, what? Hold on. Let me break it down for you. Yo, I'm like Prince, but I'm not necessarily adore you. I'm a floor you, make it go fall down just like pins. Yo, you split B around. I'ma do it like this, fry you up like fish. Yo, serve you like a dish. And that's how it feels when you're used and abused. Yo, you feel like you couldn't sue. Yo, when somebody uses your kindness for weakness and you are running a race like this is the Preakness. Belmont Stakes, for God's sakes. Kentucky Derby, nigga, you know you heard me. I'm worthy, but not like James, but I can still do the thing, feel the same. Yo, it's the strength of the God, and the strength of the devil is odd. But this life is hard as hell, but I'm just trying to do my best. I hope you can tell. My head don't swell. I ain't trying to let my ego run everything in my life. Damn life. Life is a motherfuckers and life be lifing, but it's cool because everything is going to be all right when we settle down and get our bearings together and balance out our scales and say, what the hell? Peace to all my day ones, my everydays, and my brand news. I love y'all to death, resuscitate y'all, and love y'all right back to life. We will be back tomorrow night with another Daily Go-Getimism show. So make sure that you just come on through. Hit the like button, share the show, subscribe to the channel. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, man, don't be stingy with the likes. All right, I hope y'all enjoyed listening to the show as much as I enjoyed broadcasting it. And if you didn't enjoy it, I'll see y'all tomorrow. Give it another shot. Don't be desperate. I holla. Peace, y'all.